Hey, good afternoon, guys. Tuesday on the farm. I got about 6 updates. I'll try to get through them all quick here in about 10 minutes. So let's start with the cattle because that was a big thing on Friday, and we'll head over there and talk about them quick. We'll talk about the corn, where the moisture is. We did pull a sample. We are going to have an S series combine here on the farm. So that's coming. Update on the surveying, what's going on the farm, and what else do we have here to talk about quickly? When we're going to start shelling corn, and how much corn we're going to chop. I said I would give you an answer by Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be the answer on how much we're going to chop. Biggest thing, we don't want to have a lot of feed piled here and have to move it. Back to the cattle. Well, yesterday was Monday. I did get a check in the mail. I opened it, I looked at it, and I was kind of surprised. It was a little on the light side, but I thought, well, markets are tough right now, and maybe just didn't do as well. So I started looking a little harder, and a lot of you guys heard me say they were going to vintage, and a lot of you guys know what my cattle look like, and I'll get out of the sun here in a minute. And to me, that batch I sent out of here, you can go back and check the video on their Friday sale. There's some video there, and I think there's I threw some pictures there of the cattle getting loaded. And so I got my check, and I didn't think much of it. Very busy yesterday. And got a little more time around 3:30, 4 o'clock, started studying it a little bit more. And in the description, there was a bull. That's the very first thing that popped out of my mind. I knew I didn't send any bulls. My calves are castrated by me, and I know what I'm doing. And boy, that just started to boil a little bit inside, because I was like, you work all this time to make perfect, in your own mind, perfect cattle to go to the market. And usually I don't sell cattle like that at just any sale, just because they weren't junk. So I looked at check a little more, and I had some reds, and I had a Holstein on there. Then I started to boil. So I called down to Vintage, talked to the one guy I talk to always, and I said, hey. He said, well, first thing he said, and you got to remember, I'm going to tell you the story how it is, and that way you understand. So I started boiling inside, and he said, Eric, you sent me some junky cattle. And boy, I was about ready. My phone was in my hand, and I almost crushed it in half. And when he said that words, and I talked to another guy, the truck driver, and I said, what happened? And I said, I need to know right now. I said, well, he said the office is closed. He'll get back to me in the morning. Of course, if anybody talks to you like that, after sending a nice group of cattle out, you're going to be hot. And so he did call me back this morning. I was waiting for that phone call because I didn't sleep at all last night, because to me, my cattle are just, we put a lot of work into them, and I expect a good outcome and return on them. And he apologized the first thing this morning. He called. He said, I got your cattle mixed up with another group that came in. Now, we all know that I got hurt bad on that, because he didn't represent my cattle because they were junky, that they weren't my cattle. Does that make sense? So I got hurt on that deal. So anyway, he gave me the new amount that he sent this other guy my cattle check, which was in his name, so it was legit. They made a mistake. So you get all excited about a big cattle check coming in, and you get this thing, and it was all junk cattle. I did tell you guys I went down there, and I seen some cattle I would not be proud to own, or even be embarrassed to bring to the barn or sale barn. So I felt that I had the nicest cattle there. Any farmer's going to say the same thing, but I'm going to say it, be honest. I had the nicest cattle. And so he apologized, because I told him I had a call with my good friend Dan out in Ohio. I said, I told him the story a little bit, called the trucker. He was not scared, but I know he knew I was hot, because I usually don't get too bent out of shape, but I was bent out of shape because I said, I guarantee you there was no bull in that trailer, and there was no reds. They were pure blacks. And one had a white star, and that was because it was Simmental, and the guy just, Butch Brown is his name down there in Vintage. He apologized. He was trying to make things right this morning, and he did a good job. But I called him back again, and I said, hey Butch, I said, this morning, I said, my cattle didn't get represented from my farm, from Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, the way they should have. And he goes, well, these guys, they know how to talk. He goes, well, he says, your cattle talked for themselves. They didn't need any bragging. But I said, I left a note. There was a couple people who were interested in them to come down there to get a hold of you so they got the right cattle. And the first thing you said to me, my cattle were junk. And I about crushed the phone. I repeated that now a couple times, but you know how mad I was. But anyway, so he's made it right. They have a check in the mail this morning. First thing, they try to cancel, get a hold of the other guy that had my check for my cattle. He didn't answer the phone. And of course, he's busy probably in harvest and everything else on the field, so you just don't get some of these guys. And nothing shady about the deal. The auction company made the mistake mixing a group of cattle up. But prior to my cattle leaving, usually they're sold before they're on the trailer. And what that means is Butch Brown will call a couple growers and say, the guy from Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania has sent me so many head. You put a number on them, I'll bid them up to that. If they go higher, or do you want to go higher? That's how that works for me here on the farm. And other growers too. If they're sending quality beef in, he's making phone calls to get the highest dollar for my cattle. And he always does an excellent job. So anyway, that was my excitement on cattle. Straightened out, but again, I did not get represented for my cattle at the day of the sale. So if anybody was there, or anybody that was looking at them, and they came in the ring and they said these came from E-Town, I apologize, because they weren't my cattle. They were in another group under another name. And but things are all good. We're having an S-Series combine coming, and we're going to do the feedlot here in this field behind me. I was out this morning. I picked the 4 or 5 ears, shelled them off, took them over to the mill, over to the bins, and got a moisture. And I have two numbers in here, a Chemgrow and Augusta. The Chemgrow is a lot drier. That's probably around 19%. Between 18 and 19, and the Augusta is around the 22%. So we might be taking it off for high moisture, and it might go in a silo here. So I'll let you know exactly when that's happening. So any day there'll be an S-Series combine here. I think it's going to be the 790. I think it's, I don't want to quote it yet until it's actually sitting here beside the 9550. And we might, if everything works out, we might have a New Holland here the same day. And have some fun. It's all about fun on this channel. Some of you guys don't see it that way, but I do. We work hard, we play hard, and that's the way I like to play hard and dream big. So, we got a couple more meetings here as far as surveyors around here on the farm, and then we got inspections tomorrow. Things are happening fast, so if you guys are not caught up to this, what's going on here with the farm, go back and check out like 5 videos now, get caught up. I don't want to repeat it all the time. We're going to make a video on equipment tour, what we're getting, what we're not getting, but eventually a location where we'll be moving to. So, and you're going to have videos of the steer barn behind me, which is right there, coming down, pouring a new foundation, and I'm going to bring you along the design, what's going on. So something like this doesn't happen every day on YouTube, where you have a whole farm and you're going to pick up and move it and modify it to where it's going to work really good for our operation. So that's the big construction. Once that building starts to come down, we'll go to the new location and we'll walk through you what we're doing and pouring and concrete and whatever. So Again, I hope you guys have a great morning. I did talk about the moisture, the John Deere S-Series combine's coming, corn's drying down really nice. Chopping video, talk about chopping corn, how much, because I don't want to have 950 tons of corn solid sitting here and have to move it. Especially in ag bags. Everybody familiar with ag bags, once it's in there, you pretty much let it alone. It can be moved, but it heats up really fast in the bags, and the bags are not cheap. They're 800 plus a piece, and so yeah, that should be a video tomorrow once I get a phone call, and a lot of planning. I mean, it's been stressful, trust me. So with the fun we're having here with equipment and stuff, it takes a lot of stress. So I hope you guys enjoy this video here, explaining things a little bit. And I probably talked a little bit too much more of the cattle there, but that was a big mess up. And if you guys had any farmers or anybody experienced anything like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You put a lot of hard work into a good quality beef, dairy, whatever. You want to be paid for it. If it looked terrible, yeah, I don't. It's a different ball game. But so I'm up here to check her water. She's laying behind me, Mia. I like to keep an eye on her, and she has some shade there with the fence. It's nice. So shelling corn's coming up. We're gonna have fun. 2 videos on trying to set the machine up and get ready to roll. And have a great day, guys. I have my Pioneer shirt on, and I do like Pioneer, and we have some different numbers here to put against that, and we'll see how they turn out. With the combine, we'll be able to see different varieties and yields and moisture live right from the combine. So have an awesome Tuesday, guys. I don't know if I'll put another video out or not, if I have something to say, which I do all the time. But anyway, enjoy your day, and so try to keep you updated on the farm and how things are coming along. Again, equipment and shelling corn and where it's going to go. So all right, guys, my video's long enough. Have an awesome day, and we'll have some fodder to bale and stuff here on the farm, and chopping stocks and stuff like that will be coming. And just a little hint here, there's an 8000 series going to be making presence here sometime on the operation. Have a great one. Talk to you later.